of individuality is that you can have a stronger ethical system than society is prepared to go along with. In other words, you can hold high standards for your own behavior without necessarily everyone else complying with you. And this is how we change, that we become ethically sound and reasonable, that our common sense becomes less intensely about me and more about us. And when our ideas about what is right and what is wrong, when we feel this us arising in us, that we must be careful that we not push people further or faster than they are capable of changing, or there will be war. And that's what war is about. So our own ethical system perhaps needs a little bit more repair before we are ready to go to war for righteousness, like that. Our ethical structure has to move from us as, for example, us being our family or us being our community, to having greater and greater sensations, not just intellectual understanding of who we are, but an energetic letting down of the barriers between ourselves and others. So much so that we no longer need to shift benefit to us, that we no longer need to shift benefit to us as individuals, but that we see the benefit that comes having a larger scope of benefit. And this means that grasping and clinging to the selfish needs of ourselves end. We think that's impossible right now. We think yesterday, was it yesterday or day before yesterday, in our all-day intensive, and talking about generosity, that I challenged each person there to mentally think of an object which they would never, ever be able to give up, an object that they owned, that they would never be able to give away. And I challenged them to find that object and to mentally give it to the person seated next to them, without regard for what that person was going to do with it. And like this greater giving, that there is a transcendent form of discipline which arises in us when the human body and the human mind are too small to contain our virtue. And our virtue bursts forth from us. Our virtue bursts forth from us in a display of caring and compassion, which transforms us forever. That we find selfishness to be utter foolishness and doesn't even make sense anymore. And although we can remain as a human being, that we don't have an understanding of the value of selfishness or the value of self-cherishing. Somehow, something happens and self-cherishing just doesn't make sense anymore. And when that happens, this brings new resources for discipline, for self-discipline, that are not harsh, but it's a joyous form of discipline, practicing the 10 virtues and the 10 non-virtues just don't make sense. That they're no longer practiced because one has transcended. And this transcendent form of ethics resonates with higher being. It resonates with the values of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And we sing the same songs. We rejoice at the same things. And we come into we awaken to new levels of highly cooperative being.